The 2023 Cadillac xt5 Sport all-wheel drive in your stellar black metallic. Last year we received the Brembo brakes for the trim we have with the red brake calipers. What's new this year and who's the rivals? The Lexus RX, which has been refreshed, your Lincoln Aviator, BMW, Mercedes, Volvo. When you get into this segment of luxury and mid-size, it's very crowded. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. The new Cadillac xt5 is definitely going to impress with the fascia, starting with these signature LED daytime runnings that's vertical. LED headlamps goes into the gloss black on the lower. When you get into the Sport mesh, it's all blacked out. The Cadillac badging comes out kind of like a three-dimensional look. Clearance, nearly 8 inches. And on the hood, it's performance driven, pushing out the fenders, encasing 20-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels. Behind that red caliper houses Brembo brakes. A length 189.6 inches with a wheelbase at 112.5 inches. Twin clutch sport control, all-wheel drive with driver mode select. Performance real-time damping suspension with your signature LED tail lamps. And when you're comparing this to the Benz or the Beamer, what you're gonna also notice is because this is a little bit longer and it's more box structured, you're gonna have more interior space, which you'll see in a second. Towing is going to be less in this. The BMW will be the most. Power liftgate to go inside to 30 cubic feet. We have the storage cover, LED interior lights with a 12 volt. Underneath, you'll have your spare tire with some storage all around it. Split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split. In the back, increasing the cargo to 63 cubic feet, towing up to 1,000 pounds. Two engine options, a 2.0 turbo or your VVT V6, which is what we have in the Sport trim. Let's go inside, start it up. The Cadillac xt5 back the performance with the 3.6 liter V6 producing 310 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission achieving 18 to 25 mpgs. That's good for a 0 to 60 around 7 seconds. Quarter mile around 15 seconds, which is going to be the same as the Volvo XC60. Stopping 70 to 0 around 180 feet, which is about the same as the Genesis GV70. So as you see throughout this review, there's so many luxury vehicles that compete with this one. Which one's going to be the best? Well, if you want the most horsepower, this is the way to go. It even has more than a Porsche Macan in horsepower for the base trim. However, if you're looking for speed, you're going to have to go somewhere else. And usually when you go for a Cadillac, speed isn't necessarily the concern. It's the drive, it's the safety, the technology, and the luxury you're going to see. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2023 Cadillac xt5 Sport all-wheel drive as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test. Entering inside the Cadillac xt5 Sport, you're going to receive 37.9 inches of headroom, 36.6 inches of legroom, bucket front seats, leather wrap, 10-way power seat adjustments, heated, ventilated. We get that little emblem of the Cadillac, contrast stitching. Dashboard gets the carbon inlay look, and I like how it goes into the perforated dashboard. It gives a 2-tier, so you have it laid over with the air vents in the center, and on the sides, you'll get the satin aluminum that brushes and gives a sporty hue to it with the gloss black around the gauge cluster. You can go through an array of information for the driver, so you can go through your phone settings, your audio settings, your navigation, the steering wheel that's leather wrapped, multi-function. You get that carbon fiber look, paddle shifters, and your 8-inch HD diagonal touchscreen with navigation. We have the pinch, the swipe, click that home button, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Wi-Fi hotspot, HD radio, Sirius XM, My Cadillac, 3 climate control settings, your quick wedges right here that you just double tap and it pulls up. Switch it into reverse. We have your reverse camera with full trajectory. We have dual climate control settings and a storage pocket right here. Here you can close this up or open it, so that way you have your cup holders more seamless. The Cadillac gear lever, you got your rotary knob that can make it easier for your infotainment. You have your driver mode select right here, which you might want to do some dynamics. You got your all-wheel, you got your sport, your off-road, and your touring. Your wireless charging pad is tucked right underneath here. Soft where you rest your elbows. Open up inside. You get a storage container that you can run the wires from here all the way to here for your USB A and C. Pick that up. It's a pretty deep storage, and it's not too bad with the width. You also receive a pass-through with a 12-volt charger right here. Hidden area here that I would use just to put my key fob, because I don't like to keep key fobs on me. The door panel and the dash inlay together. So I do like the way it sets up. You get the Bose Premier Performance Series, which has 14 speakers upgrade with that carbon fiber and the satin aluminum underneath it, contrast stitching, soft where you rest your elbows, one touch up and down for dual pane windows in the front. The storage pocket is deep. It's just not so wide to open the cargo. For the back seats, I'm at 36.6 inches of headroom, 39 inches of legroom, so I can fit without any issues, and the floor is completely flat, so it makes it easier. A disadvantage, though, is the cup holders. My arm really rests on it. You can maybe fit a 20-ounce max. Heated rear seats with your third climate control, air vents, a storage pocket, and then down through here, you'll see that you get 2 USB ports. Storage behind both of the front seats. For the back door panel, the same materials that are found in the front come into the rear, soft for the elbows, a larger storage pocket. Again, just the width makes it a little bit tight. And because this is a bench, we can just pick this up, slide over here like this. And now for headroom, it's still about the same leg space. I'm gonna be a little bit tight. I am sharing feet, butt, shoulder space, but for the most part, it is doable for 3 adults, 6'3", to go for a quick dinner, but nothing to go out of town with. Taking the 2023 Cadillac xt5 Sport out for our test run, 3.6 liter VVT V6, 310 horsepower. That's a lot underneath it, and you have more than everybody that's in its competition, more or less. That's crazy. Unfortunately, the 0 to 60 numbers do not project that. Curb weight is under 4,200 pounds, so it's just the dynamics of what Cadillac does, and they don't necessarily go for speed. So I understand that. That's all paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and you're getting 18 mpgs and 25 mpgs for the highway with 271 pound-feet of torque. This is what it sounds like. And the brakes grab good. They're Brembo. It feels solid. Dynamics, it's going to be a bit boaty, but you expect that. I mean, if you need some maneuverability, you can do that. Not the longest vehicle in its class. It is a large windscreen, but the way it's projected keeps a sport heritage. So I do like that they give you the 2 different effects. So you get sport and luxury blended in. Now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I would be buying this XT5. The 3 things that I like about it is now we receive a spare tire in the cargo, which makes it awesome because you don't necessarily have to worry about things. I mean, you got a tire as long as you know how to change your own tire. The second thing that I like about the vehicle is the storage cubbies in the front. They do a great job. You got the pass-through. I dislike the cup holder area where that closes back, and I showed you on the interior spec because I wish that that mechanism was a little bit faster. Maybe it just needs some oil. The last thing that I like about the vehicle, it's the best in class with horsepower. I mean, that is always something to boast about, especially if you're having a coffee, you're going out for a drink, and people are like, what do you drive? I got a Cadillac. Oh, okay, well, I got a Porsche. And you know what? If you got the base model Porsche, this has more horsepower. Look at this. It just goes and livens up. Whoa. Now, it does feel a little bit faster than the numbers project, but that's just because it has a little bit of a dynamic ride to it. Three things that I dislike starts off with: you do not receive navigation on all the trims. Harder materials throughout the cabin. We don't have massage seats. The Xt5 is scheduled for a redesign next year, and I'm hoping that they go to the second thing that I dislike, that the gauge cluster is now full digital, we don't have a heads-up display, and the infotainment is a little bit smaller than my liking. Look at this. It does have that kick to it though. So it livens up. Does get a little bit noisy inside the cabin. Dual pane windows in the front, upgraded 20-inch wheels. The suspension's also altered to get a little bit better in the performance numbers, so that's going to also change some of that quietness and the sound dampening. Going back to the things I dislike, the last thing is you have to pay for your third climate control in the rear, and it's nearly $2,000. I don't like this because once you start getting up the trim levels, you start getting luxury standard. The interior, fabulous job when you get into the sport. The premium, I'm glad that we're getting standard navigation. But for the other trims, what makes you want to get into luxury is getting standard navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, performance underneath the hood, the style that we have throughout the interior of this, third climate control setting, power seat adjustment. Turn radius at a stop point is going to receive about 2 and a part lane, and let's rock and roll. Now, comparing this to the rivals throughout the review, I've been talking about a lot of vehicles. Who does this really go after? I would say the Lexus RX is a great comparison to it. Also, the Infiniti QX50 or 55, you'll lose some space in the 55. If you go into BMW, Mercedes, those are going to be more performance driven. However, you're going to have a little bit more of a luxury feel in the interior in the way the drive is in this. If you're comparing it against the Volvo XC60, that one also would be a great example of luxury inside. The numbers are basically the same, but you're getting a more performance drive in this. If you're looking for towing capacity, the BMW X3 will be the best in class. If you're looking for leg space in the second row or your back seats, this one is almost the best in class, comparing it to every single one. So if you're looking for a family SUV, you don't want a third row, this is the way you gotta go, especially if you're looking for luxury. Obviously, they could do a little bit better with some of the aesthetics. They're going through a full redesign, hopefully by 2024 is what they're projecting, and there is some cool things. I mean, you put your cell phone right here, it's a wireless charging pad. The wires, they just go seamless inside. So Cadillac does think about hiding things and keeping it more luxurious, so that way you can just focus on the drive and enjoy. I like to thank Cadillac Lakeland for giving us this 2023 Cadillac XT5 Sport for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, what are you waiting for? Click the next video, the subscribe button, check out the merchandise details website and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides. And don't forget to leave a comment and a thumbs up, because I always reply back.